Hey, Steve Gamache here for C2 Bladeworks, and this company was started by Carter Hopkins II. He is renowned for his absolutely stellar handle work, and he's been doing that for quite some time. So he's expanding his offerings to include some in-house created blades attached to these magnificent handles. Of course, he does a lot of custom handles for other people's knives, so he's creating his own. And he's got some really cool knives he's been working to create and fine-tune and perfect. So this particular one is the 240 millimeter Kiritsuke. It's a double bevel Kiritsuke, not a single bevel style. It includes an awesome custom fitted saya and a pin as well. We'll talk about that. The steel that he uses is 52100 high carbon reactive steel stock, and he does his own in-house heat treat, so it completely controls that aspect, really every aspect. And so his formula comes out to about 62 Rockwell. The construction is mono steel, so there's no layers or cladding. It's just one piece of stock, and then he does his stock removal to shape and contour the knife to his particular specifications for that model. The use of 52100, it's an awesome knife steel. It's easy to do a great heat treat on it, and it also has excellent fine grain properties when done right, as this is. So it's easy to sharpen, it holds a nice edge, and it also takes a very fine edge. So you can refine it to a pretty high level if you want, or use a toothy. It's pretty versatile steel. So it does a nice job with this. The weights and dimensions are gonna, well, the dimensions should be pretty close, but the weights are gonna vary depending on the handle material. So this particular one with this handle is 203 grams or 7.2 ounces without the saya. The edge length is about 242 millimeters or 9.5 inches, and the overall length is about 402 millimeters. So I went ahead and measured the spine thickness in 4 places. The actual middle of the blade gains just a little bit of thickness from the spine, so it gains a little bit and then loses it as you contour back towards the edge. So the spine thickness on this one is right coming out of the handles about 2.6 millimeters, and then about halfway down I measured it at 2.7, and then I measured it right at the turn here on that reverse sword tip, and it's about 1.8 millimeters, and then about halfway down this turn here it's about 1.2 millimeters, and then it gets super skinny under millimeters you get towards the tip. You can see how thin that is by the tip. He's also put a really cool swedge or false edge on the reverse sword tip point here on the Kiritsuke point, so it's got a really cool look to that. So he's thinned that down, pretty neat looking. The blade height is 46.3 millimeters at the heel, and of course the star of the show on this thing is going to be the handle. Carter does some fantastic handles. This knife has been out on a pass around to a number of professional chefs, so it's had some hard use in professional kitchens. It's been kind of, cleaned up a little bit, but it's had some definite use on it. It's not pristine out of the box, so keep that in mind as you see this. It's still in really good shape considering all the use it's had by some pros in high volume environments. So the handle again is the star. So this particular one is octagonal. It is Gaboon ebony with a nice mosaic pin in it. And then the ferrule and the butt cap or the end cap are black buffalo horn. And then he also has a nickel silver spacer in there. So great fit and finish on these handles. He puts a nice coating on there, a durable coating as well, that still is grippy when wet. Very well sealed up at the tang, super tight install, always is with him. He's meticulous in his craftsmanship. So the circumference of this handle is about 80 millimeters here, right behind this spacer. Balance point on this with that particular handle, again, it'll vary by the materials just in front of that choil. So his style is this nice gentle curve into from the choil into the handle or the neck, and so that gives you a perfect spot for a pinch grip. So super comfortable, easy for me to say, super comfortable for a pinch grip. The finish that he puts on, I think he's going to be putting this on all his knives, is this brushed finish, so it's got the horizontal longitudinal brush marks in it, which is an elegant look, and it also has a practical application that when you clean the blade, you're always wiping it and drying it with the blade, so any scratches you get in there will help be hidden by that going with the flow, as it were, on the finish. And again, this is not a pristine out-of-the-box brand new blade. But very nice finish work on this. Very nice polishing and rounding on the spine all the way down. Really great polishing on the choil all the way around there. Super comfortable out of the box. The out-of-the-box edge, I really can't say because this has been used by numerous people. Carter's a very competent sharpener, so you should get at least at minimally a good quality serviceable edge out of the box. And of course, you could take that higher if you do your part, because it's a great steel. So this is what we look like. The left side, excuse me, the right side of the blade has an etched logo, and the other side of the blade is plain. This blade has got a little more meat than the 230 Gyuto I've been working with and videotaped. So this one's pretty stiff. It's got some stiffness to it, even in the tip. A little bit of flex in the tip, but overall it's got some stiffness to it. It's a real confident blade on the cutting board. These have good feedback since they're mono steel. And it's it's not a laser. That's not his style on these, but it cuts authoritatively, and it's got kind of a workhorse feel. It does not feel delicate whatsoever, but that tip's nice and skinny to go through stuff well. And it's just a good all-around design he's made on these. So high-quality blade. Before I get to the cutting board, we can get this out of the way after that. But this particular one is a good example of one of his custom-made saya. So the saya on this one is the same Gaboon ebony with, not sure what the spacer he uses in there, but he puts a spacer in there to create them. And then it's got a hand-turned nickel silver pin for it, retention pin, and the great, nice, same great finish that the handle has on it. And he knows his stuff, of course, with the handles and the sayas, and this is a great fitting product here. There's actually very little play there. It's all the play I'm getting between that and that pin to stop the knife. So it's quite custom fitted and just a beautiful job. So that's the whole package right there. So let's see, let's set this off to the side. Here is a look at this profile on the cutting board. This is definitely flatter overall than the 230 Gyuto that I sampled. So here's what it looks like. So very gradual curve and kind of flattish through the main part. A little bit of back belly on the heel. And then here's the profile. The tip's pretty low. It's this style of blade. So I'll get it right in there on this one. So this one's definitely not a rocker, but that's not the style of this blade. So that's what your profile looks like. Very smooth profile. No dips or bumps or anything in it. So I want to talk about the value proposition on these. A big chunk of the cost of these offerings is really going to go towards the woodworking, the handle, and the saya, if it includes a saya. So much smaller percentage is going towards the actual blade. So the value proposition on the knives is actually quite high. You've got fantastic craftsmanship, some awesome hand-picked materials of the highest quality, and then you've got a really well-done blade with nice steel, excellent heat treat. And so the blades he's really not charging that much for themselves. So you're getting an excellent value on the actual knife blade, and you're getting fantastic craftsmanship on the rest of the package. So, I think they represent a high value proposition because of that. So he's not charging an arm and a leg for the actual blades, and he's doing great work on these. So this particular one is the C2 Bladeworks 240 Kiritsuke in 52100 steel with a custom saya. I'm Steve Gamache for C2 Bladeworks.